I don't want to talk about this on here.
Yeah,
it's too controversial.
Okay.
It is too
hey, Matt, who
controversial.
would you run it straight at? I've said I want to run it straight at Stephen McIver.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Hosking? He's got
You wouldn't even notice Hosking. Have we impacted yet?
Is this the wind
I'll
picked
tell you
up?
what.
You injure yourself by hitting the other end because you hit too fast. You just go straight through it. Yeah.
It's like
it's
that-
the same Ash. It's like, was there a breeze? Is there a bit of a breeze in here?
I tell you what, you'd have more than a crowd chah-hooing and yelling in front of his face if he reached to Jesus and you knocked him out.
I did about an hour of this, on News Talk ZB yesterday.
Oh, how did it go?
Well, I was like, what are you freaking talking about? For a start, it was one of those classic Herald stitch-ups where they show a video of something else and then associate it. Because
Yes.
the person that'd been run over and going
Yeah.
was not the Run It Championship.
No.
It was just some random people doing it, right?
Right.
So that's a massive stitch-up to go, well, this isn't what we're talking about, but we'll talk to a neuroscientist and they'll say it's terrible just from the picture. The neuroscientist doesn't do any research into what she's talking about. She says it's terrible. And actually on my show, I played this audio that I'd heard on breakfast from 45 years ago. It was when jogging first started in New Zealand.
Oh.
And it was the classic journalist thing where you get people and they were going, doctors are saying this is a pointless and dangerous pursuit, jogging. So whatever comes up, there's always that story where you find the craziest person that's willing to say it's terrible. But what's the world record for tackles in NRL? I think it's 81 in a game. So what are you freaking talking about? They run it. Every game starts with someone running it straight.
I know. This is what I was saying
So,
yesterday.
yet it's this article about it like this is it's just one part of the game.
They've drilled it down beautifully because the biggest cheer at any rugby league game
Is that first hit up?
Yeah, it's just any hit.
Yeah.
Any run it
Fact.
straight.
Yeah.
Like Hydro Nitro Okasini is burnt into my mind of him coming off the back fence, head first, mullet flowing at the back, and that always got the biggest cheer.
Yeah, what about when Delamartini Zalesniak does it and he's such a little fella?
Yeah.
Puts his chin down and just runs, 15 metres towards a massive booty line of defence. That's awesome. But also, they've got, you can't, no head highs, no below the waist.
Yeah.
So it's just ridiculous the beat up that they have on this.
Oh.
I just think it's quite a cool idea. And because I think if you were there, the crowd would be funny. You'd be like, oh, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Herald calling it the dumbest sport ever. Also, to have another go at the Herald. That's someone's comment on social media that you've used as the headline. And so social media comments are the absolute cesspool of humanity. And just because some absolute wounded that doesn't understand it's the dumbest and calls it the dumbest sport ever, like maybe running the 100 metres is the dumbest sport ever because you just run in 100 metres. You're not even running into something.
Throwing a rock. That's pretty dumb.
Yeah. Is shot put the dumbest sport ever?
It's been labelled as the dumbest sport ever. It's like, okay,
by
right.
by the 17th comment down on an inflammatory post.
Hey, they're coming out on the competition. The Run It competition is coming out end of May.
Yeah, 25th of May. Whereabouts is it though? I couldn't find out.
Yeah, well,
because the one in Melbourne, I think the one in Melbourne was today or yesterday or something.
Yeah, they had like 20 grand cash on the line for that.
Yeah.
We've volunteered to do like an exhibition one where I run it straight at Stephen McIver, you run it straight at Mike Hosking.
Or Jason Hoyte.
Oh my God, it would be similar to the Hosking.
Yeah,
Maybe Hosking and Hoyte, because that would be quite good.
because what happens when an unstoppable force hits an unmovable object? That'd be what happens when a easily stoppable force hits a very movable object.
Both paying $1.90.
Just go poof in the middle.
I love the idea of it. Because I can just imagine how the crowd would get hyped up beforehand.
My God. And that one video of that guy who reached for Jesus and got the Dean Lonergan going on. Obviously, the crowd ran on because they just loved the hit. They obviously didn't realise how he got knocked the F out. And then they backed off. But you could see how hyped up they are. And I love the fencing they put around the arena, which is 4 metres wide, 20 metres long. It's basically just caution tape.
Yeah.
It's just caution tape around here. Yeah, that'll keep him back.
Yeah. But in that one, that's just a completely amateur thing as well. So it's like blaming, there's a street fight. Someone gets king hit on K Road.
Yeah.
And you blame boxing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they're different things. You can't do that.
It's gonna be good.
But I love it. So we need to find out where it is.
Yeah, we are. We're going to do some research because we're going to head out there. We're keen. I'm so keen. Not
Yeah.
to participate, only if it's Hosking, Hoyte, or
Yeah, they've
Stephen
got to have a
Hoyte.
celebrity round.
Yeah, have to. It's like a run it for life.
Who do you think's the weakest person broadcaster in New Zealand? Like male broadcaster in New Zealand.
Male broadcast in New Zealand.
I guess it probably would be Hosking.
Yeah, I mean, you'd look at the
Who?
likes of
Oh, yeah, Andrew Dickens.
You look at the likes of
It'd be hard to hit Andrew Dickens though.
Mike Peru.
You'd have to have a good. You'd have to line up pretty well to hit Dickens. You go, I've missed him.
Yeah, it's true. He just has to turn side on, and you'll fly right past him.
A real household name as well, Andrew.
He's very skinny, very thin man, very slight. Mike Peru. You could run over. You could steamroll Mike Peru.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon
Low centre of
he's
gravity,
South
though.
Island. He's from Gore. There's a bit of rural sort of solidity in there.
I think we've probably named the three.
Yeah.
haven't we? And Hoyte, Hosking, and McIver. Surely.
Deeker. I mean, in
he's
the day, I wouldn't have gone for Deeker at all.
No.
In the day,
Well,
actually, even now, Deeker would knock me on my back.
Yeah, I think he probably would.
Yeah.
And he'd stand over the top of you and go,
Yeah.
yours, please.
I hope people have their hype ups like that. Murray D comes at yours, please. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to.
That's his.
Hosking's like happy days.
When you were discussing it on ZB yesterday, did you find out any kind of rules around how it works with who's the ball carrier and stuff like that? We were discussing
Yeah.
yesterday. We couldn't quite figure out how that works.
I think because you have 4 attempts. So I think I was imagining that one. So you have 2 times with the ball and 2 times not, and there's a panel of judges.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like gymnastics in a way, where you go where they
It's
judge.
a judge thing.
Yeah, so it hits, and then they judge who had the was better.
Who wins the contact?
Yeah, who
That's
wins the contact, yeah.
yeah. Because often not because
It
we
keeps
only
getting better, man.
Because
Yeah.
social media, we only see the massive hits. It's like boxing or UFC. You know, you're only the bit of content that has the most is the flying back heel that knocks a guy out. You know,
Yeah.
it's same with the run it straight things. The only ones you ever see is when the guy reaches for Jesus, or the ones you see
Yeah.
and you go, whoa.
Yeah.
Which says to me that the majority of them are probably pretty legit and pretty standard. You know, like 2 dudes will just go and meet in the middle.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could get a highlight reel of every game of league and find a situation where someone's ends up badly damaged.
So it's 4. They do it 4 times. Okay.
Yeah.
I was presuming they just tossed a coin. Okay, you've got the ball, and then it's one off. But obviously there's round robins.
Yeah. What's his name? Nelson Sofa Solomia. Solomona?
Yeah.
Yep.
Solomio.
Solomona.
I prefer Solomio.
Yeah, it was a good attempt at a memory. I shouldn't have tried. But Nelson,
Yes. old Nelly. Yeah.
yeah, he's a big part of it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he read out the rules.
Okay. You need someone with a bit of mana to read the rules out.
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah. No, I think it's it's such a beat up that that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I
I mean, MMA exists.
I know. That's what I tweeted yesterday. If they watch the guys in undies who fucking beat the crap out of each other in an octagon, that's okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's get this thing underway. Live
Yep.
from the Export Beer Garden studio. This is the agenda for Wednesday, the 30th of April.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
So Ryan Reynolds and Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia are coming to New Zealand, Matt Heath.
For the
They're bringing Wrexham.
Wrexham World Tour.
Yeah, the Wrexham World Tour.
Who are Wrexham going to play?
So they are saying that they're coming to New Zealand. They haven't confirmed who they're playing. And I asked around at the Auckland FC game, and they're like, at the moment, we know it's not us, as far as we know. And I don't know if they were foxing. But they said they're either playing the Phoenix or Auckland FC.
Got to play
when they're
Auckland FC, get a good crowd along.
Yeah, totally. Is it part of the... Are they just looking for more content on the Netflix series? Let's just do a world tour. They're going to Australia. They're playing a whole lot of games in Aussie as well.
I'm excited about Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia being in New Zealand.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
are they going to come?
Yeah. and-
Okay, they are going to come.
I
That's
love
good.
So it is the series then.
Yeah.
Yeah, must
Yeah.
be.
And I love the notes here. I've got get ready for New Zealand media to absolutely lose their minds and female breakfast radio host to say they'll commit mild sexual assault crimes because Ryan Reynolds is rumoured to be coming to New Zealand.
Yeah, it's
There you
the hypocrisy of the way women will talk about him
Yeah.
as opposed to how men are allowed to talk about women will be in full display.
Well, if
Do not mention Blake Lively.
Yeah, so if Blake Lively comes, so can
Yeah, we'll be like,
just-
oh, yeah,
can
we get we're
yeah.
frothing. Yeah, a bit of that, yeah. It's like, no. but the way they talk about,
I disgusted myself then.
yeah. But I'm more hot for Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. God, that's a great show.
Yeah,
that is a great show. Hopefully they come out. Surely if it's part of the Netflix series, they have to come out.
It's got to be Auckland FC. I went along on Sunday.
Yeah, same.
I was in Bay 10.
Wet.
Yeah, and Bay 10's a really good spot to watch because you're right down by the goal in the first half. And I took my son Charlie, and he's watched a lot of football, played a bit of football, but he's never been at a ground to watch a game of football. He's never watched it, at a high level, and he was just blown away.
Yeah,
how awesome it was.
Was that the port end with all the big fans?
No, it's the other end.
The other end, okay.
Yeah,
right.
so the other end in the corner. Awesome. So you're right alongside the goal.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Shit, there's a lot of big dudes," and you really realise how hard it is to score a goal when you're down that close to the goal. There's so many dudes in the way.
Yeah, it's a good time, and then obviously you'll be back on the 24th of May for the home semi.
Yeah,
that'll be good. Also read this morning, you'd be good to weigh in on this. The Sexy Camel. He's had 5 months at home with his kids in the midi.
Yeah,
and
he's off.
Like Daniel Vittori before him and Stephen Flaring before him. They're like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Just can't figure out what's going on here.
So he is rumoured to be joining his long-lost drinking buddy, Baz McCullum, in the England coaching staff.
Yeah.
This is classic Baz, isn't it?
Yeah. That's right. Stack it with drinking buddies. Stack the coaching staff with drinking buddies.
Okay, so Jimmy Anderson is busy.
It's good. When Tim Southey retired, I said to him in an interview on my show, "You'll be going into bowling coaching straight away, won't you?" He goes, "No, I've got a lot more
to
offer. And so I'm going to probably be involved in a lot of things." And then he's immediately into it.
Well, he was either
he was a liar.
He was either going to England or he was going to Aussie to take piss with Dan Vittori. They were the
surely
two options.
Those three have got to get together and coach some team.
Oh my God, that would end up being great time.
Yeah,
for the team.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how they'd perform.
Well, it's quite handy because I think with Baz McCullum, the responsibilities of drinking with Baz can fall on the players.
Yeah,
and so it's quite good if the coaching staff take up some of that slack of punishing red wines late into the night with Baz. So because people that don't actually have to play.
Yeah, well, that's what Dan Vittori said. And the senior leadership team within that 2015 Cricket World Cup squad took turns at drinking with Baz.
Yeah.
So they would rotate that round. So it would be like Vittori one night, and then it would be the Hairy Jav the next, and then it would be Trent Bolt
that's the senior leadership team standing up.
Yeah, that's
right. And taking responsibility.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that is obviously Baz was still playing at that point.
Yes.
So I remember before they absolutely smoked England at the Cake Tin in 2015. It was about 9:30 at night, and I saw Baz leaving the hotel, and he was heading out, after a few drinks in the hotel, out for a big night.
Yeah.
And then absolutely destroyed.
Oh.
Stuart Broad refused to bowl anymore when they throw him the ball because Baz and Guppy were smacking him around so much. He just refused to bowl anymore. And that's after Baz was out late.
And then they had the indignity of going to the innings break when New Zealand needed 10 to win with 9 wickets in hand. Remember that?
That's right.
And they brought out the humiliating halftime activations with all the sponsors, and the England team had to go back to the changing room for half an hour, sit there and just go, fucking hell, we have to go back out and get humiliated. But luckily for them, half the crowd left. So it wasn't as humiliating as it could have been.
Well, the ball had left the stadium a few times as well off the bat of Martin Guptill.
So they're actually it's not a bad coaching lineup when you think about it. When you've got Baz, going back to you got Baz as kind of the mercurial leader, inspiration. You got Southey as the bowling coach, and then you could bring Vittori in as the spin coach.
Yeah.
So there you go. So
that's the dream team.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, Tim Southey would be a fantastic bowling coach because he,
a lot of knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of test wickets and execute a lot of strategies well.
And great for team vibe as well. He's not afraid of a couple of beers and the odd practical joke.
Yeah, there'll be a few down trows.
A few down trows. Yeah.
Couple of sack taps.
A
lot of
oh my God, the
brutal sack tap schedule.
There was a period there where the sack tap was rife during the New Zealand cricket team, and it was when we were doing Beige Brigade tours and stuff, and we'd go out and meet Dan and a few others, and within 30 seconds, someone random came up and just whacked me right in the sack and dropped me. And then you had to walk around with one hand on a drink and the other hand over your downstairs because someone was going to sack tap you. And I mentioned this to Gupdorf. I said, were you involved in that sack tapping era? And he goes, do you know what? I put Victoria in hospital with a sack tap. He did it, and because he's got very sensitive testicles, Victoria. He twisted them at high school. So they're very sensitive, and he sack tapped them, and he ended up having to go to hospital to get treatment.
Well, that's interesting because I was just going to ask the question: have sports psychologists and sports scientists looked into the effect of sack tapping on a team? And if you're putting star players in hospital with the sack tapping, it's probably maybe gone too far.
Is sack tapping,
or is that the tapper's era? He's tapped too hard.
Well, yeah, he's gone in a bit too hard.
Yeah,
and he said the reason why it was so effective is it missed the middle stump, and it was a direct testicle shot that hit nothing but testy.
Right.
So there was no collateral with your sword.
So Guppy gets it out of
the way.
Gets it right out of the middle.
Yeah, he got it right out of the middle.
He just middled it.
But it's like, is sack tapping a sign of a team that's in harmony? Or is it, that's where the psychologists would come in?
Yeah.
Or is it a sign of a team that is so comfortable with themselves that they can go around and hit each other in the nuts?
It'd be interesting, stats-wise. I mean, I don't know how big the sample is, but I think if you're sack tapping, then you're getting along well because you don't normally sack tap an enemy. Yeah,
because
what about fingering during national anthems?
Oh, butt fingering.
Butt fingering during national anthems.
That's quite popular.
Kawaja, big fan of that on the Australian
Rife
team.
in the Aussie team.
Because Kawaja did it to Zampa.
Yeah.
And in New Zealand recently.
I just saw one. Who was it recently? They went round the back.
Yeah, Daryl Mitchell. Daryl Mitchell, yeah.
He went round the back and gave the...
Gary Nips, was it?
Ravindra.
Okay,
He gave Ravishing Rick a poke in the butthole.
It's a bit different, though, to the sack tap.
I'm a big fan of that, but it's high risk than how many cameras are around these days. High risk.
Well, is that irresponsible for the people, like the camera people? You don't need we need to see what's happening behind the national anthem.
That's true.
I do.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy it. I quite enjoy the.
But there was no because there was a bit of outrage when Kawaja fingered Zampa during the Australian national anthem, but there was not a peep around Mitchell's fingering of Ravindra.
No.
But is that because there was so little interest in the game?
There's questions. Did anyone see it except us?
If it's like a fingering in the bush.
Yeah.
There was only about 3 people watching the build-up.
There's been a fingering in the bush and no one's around.
Oh, okay, like a forest.
Yeah, what did you think?
Just like a bush.
Right.
Okay. I will take a quick break. We'll be back. I'm going to talk Savannah Bananas with you. I mentioned it briefly yesterday, but
I'm excited about this.
Being a baseball fan, I'm going to introduce you to the Savannah Bananas. Righto. Savannah Bananas are a baseball team, and they have been referred to as the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. And when I mention it, you'll probably go, those guys. It's the social media clip you see of a pitcher going up to pitch and then all of a sudden starts dancing and all the fielders start dancing in time.
I've seen this,
Yeah, and you see them perform a little dance thing. And you kind of think, what the hell's that? What's this? Well, that's the Savannah Bananas. So they're a team that are now pretty legendary, and they've sold out this tour of the States. They had 81,000 people come and watch them because it's all about entertainment. So at least 2 or 3 times a game, they do a dance performance.
Yeah, right.
And the guy who started it with his wife, and he bought this wee little franchise in Savannah, and basically took out. Basically, he did things like it's very focused on fan first, and it's a real cliche, the fan first. I mean, every team thinks they're fan first.
Yeah,
they're not. And he had basically about 400 people would turn up to each of their games. It was a real pissant little league that he bought into. And then he decided to charge $30, no fees on top of that, and you get free concessions, as much as you want. Soft drinks, burgers, hot dogs.
Wow.
Free concessions. And he did this probably about 10 years ago. This is well before everyone's trying to offer these freebies. Free concessions, that's it. And he went from selling it out within a month. It was sold out 4,000 or 5,000 people every week. And then he decided to do. He basically
free drinks,
not beers.
Yeah,
just soft drinks.
Because the Brewers tried that one time, didn't they? They tried the free beers
did they?
at the Milwaukee Stadium. It was a riot.
There was a riot.
Yeah, there was a riot. They had to shut the game down. Yeah. Everyone got so pissed.
Anyway, the Savannah Bananas, and he basically said what are the worst things about baseball that he didn't like, that he think the fans didn't like, and It was things like, the coach was approaching the mound, and 10 minutes later, stepping away from the strike zone, walking players, stuff like that. So he's got rid of all of that, and foul balls, the crowd can catch and it's out. So if you hit a foul ball and the crowd catches, you're out.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so it's shit like that. It's all the things he's just picked up and gone, get rid of that. That's fucking, involve the crowd more. And so basically what's happened is next year they're going to have their own league. So they got the Banana Savannas have now started their own league, and they've sold 4 franchises, and they've got great names. The franchises' names are the Party Animals, the Tailgaters, and the Firefighters. And there are 2 more teams to be added to the Banana Savannas. And they reckon that this league will be worth over $1 billion by the time it's done.
Wow.
And it's all basically just fan-driven stuff. So if the fans want it, they get it.
That walking out to the mound, get rid of that. That pisses me off. So you'll have a pitcher, and then a left-handed batter comes in.
Yeah.
And so the fucking manager will walk out really slowly, looking around, and have a word to the guy, and then take the ball off, and then they go off. It takes fucking ages, and then they go to an head break. It's like, can you not have something in his ear and just signal? Could there not be like a signal? Just you're off. Yeah. The other guys come, or just send the guy out like a sub. There's just a sub. You hold the sub out, the other guy goes off, you come off. It takes fucking forever, and the management, Doc Roberts for the Dodgers, and the pitching coach, they walk so fucking slowly.
He's a slow mover, eh?
He's so slow, and then he gets out and he has a little chat, and you're like, fucking just get him off.
Yeah, and they've got no bumps.
Because you've made the decision already over in the bunker, right? So it's not like the pitcher gets because they say that they ask the pitcher, they go, yeah, how you feeling, blah, 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 blah. It's like, fuck off, you've decided, get him off.
So they got no bunting either? No bunts?
Oh, that's good.
No bunts, you just got to go for glory.
Although Kike Hernandez heroic bunt yesterday to get the Dodgers home.
Oh, yeah, and
against Pittsburgh.
A time limit of 2 hours too.
2 hours?
2 hours, that's it. Nothing more than that. So they can basically plan all the entertainment around that 2 hours and all the dancing and everything.
So 2 hours total?
Yeah.
So what else do they remove for 2 hours?
I'm not
sure.
sure.
Is it still 3 strikes?
I think so, yeah.
Because someone was saying that if you made the game 2 strikes and 3 balls, it would be much quicker, obviously.
Yeah. So they got in-game dance routines that happens all the time. That's why you see that pitch and they stop and then the music starts.
That's a bit humiliating.
That is humiliating, but the crowd love it.
Yeah.
This is why, and at the end he says, it's not for everyone because baseball fans love baseball, but this is selling out 81,000 seat stadiums.
Yeah.
And people are loving it. Their social media side of it is massive
Are they
as well.
competing seriously, though?
No. So who's playing it? That's my question.
Okay,
so
well,
are they
there's
decent players? Are they decent athletes?
Yeah, they have a summer camp. They have a camp. There's heaps of players who are just on the outer of MLB who play in some other feeder league.
Right. Whereas, but are they not even in minor league? Or are they minor league players? Can you be a minor league player and play for this league?
I'm not sure you can do that. I think because they've seen it as a little bit of a threat.
Yeah.
But they're not saying it's a threat. This goes alongside MLB. It's never going to take it over because it's a bit of a joke. It's Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
The Washington Generals kind of thing.
So because the Generals have terrible record.
Terrible record, the Generals.
Yeah.
I think for this,
the Harlem Globetrotters need to find a better competition.
I think when they start their league, I think it'll be competitive. I don't think the Bananas will always win. But there's 15...
Savannah Bananas is such a bad name.
Oh, and they're bright yellow. They're bright yellow uniforms.
So how does it work? Does little Johnny grow up, at the age of 6 to go, one day I want to play for the Savannah Bananas?
Well, if you're a performer and you play baseball, then yes.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because if you're a bit of a showman.
It just feels a bit one-trick pony to me. I don't know, once you've seen one person halfway through a pitch start dancing, that you've seen it once, you've seen it all.
But it is fan focused. You go along, you get free concessions, so the family's like, fuck yeah, I don't have to spend $120 on my kids. It's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Your kids are like, fuck, it's only 2 hours, not 7 hours.
Yeah.
It's all action. You can catch the ball. It's like, it's built around that. So they got more TikTok followers than all of the MLB teams combined.
Wow.
They got a $14 million social media following. It's fucking,
I like it.
It's no joke. They sold $50 million worth of tickets this year touring around America.
Wow.
US, that's 100 million New Zealand. So people are keen
That's
to watch
pretty
them.
crazy, yeah.
But hopefully it has an effect on baseball because they've done a few things, like they've made the bases a bit bigger. and they've done little things like mandatory second base for extra innings.
Yeah.
So innings don't go for get those games, they go to 18 innings. So you've actually got a runner on second base as soon as you go. That speeds the game up. They've got the pitch clock that's come in now, which is speeding things up. So it is getting faster, but I'd love if they got rid of the fucking manager going out to the mound.
The mound visit. And also another thing they do, which I'm trying to get my head around, is if you're going to run someone out at first base, the ball has to go to every hand of the people so it has to go to all bases and then to the first base. So if you get it, everyone has to touch it. You know what I mean? So if the shortstop gets it, it has to go to third base, second base, then to first base.
Before they get it out?
Yes.
So it's always like, wow.
So you're always running. So it's not like, oh, I'm out. You don't bother running. You go to first base and you're in with a chance because all of the inner attackers have to touch it before it goes to the first base.
So it has to go third base, second base.
Oh, it doesn't matter what order.
Well, you'd be silly to go first base because you'd have to come back again.
Yeah, you don't go to first, but you can go to second to third to
second to third. Yeah. Yeah. So if it goes to, and do they have to have their foot on the base?
Yes.
So third.
Oh no, they don't.
Second baseman can be off the base, but they just have to throw it to third baseman, then first baseman.
They just have to touch it. So the action
I love that.
the action there is like, and you've still got a chance to make first base.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I love that.
So these are decade old, the Savannah Bananas, and they've grown to be one of the largest fan bases in the US, just surreptitiously.
I love it.
So I was thinking, is this the kind of thing like Super Rugby struggling, not in terms of its product, but in terms of attendance?
Yeah.
And I know that they've got ticket deals at the moment, like bring your mates, 4 for the price of 3. It's like people aren't motivated by that. But imagine at FML Stadium or at Eden Park, they said $40, free concessions.
Yeah.
Kids, $20. Free concessions are soft drinks out of the psh machine.
Yep.
Doesn't cost them anything. Hot dogs and hamburgers, which, if I'm honest, I've had a few of those. I can't imagine they're more than $1 in terms of straight costs.
Free concessions.
Imagine free concessions.
Yeah.
And not just one off. Don't just go, this is a one-off free concessions. Commit and do the whole Super Rugby season, free concessions. Imagine how many people would bring their kids along, because you have to crush a lot of money to feed your kids at these games.
Yeah.
Even yourself.
It's interesting as well because I think you risk a lot with the catering at games.
Yeah,
in terms of if the crowd doesn't turn up, you have to get rid of a whole lot of food.
Yeah.
I wonder what the... Yeah. I mean, as if you could guarantee a lot of people turned up. But yeah, if you're doing dinner at the same time, because that's what families say. They say, Jesus Christ, if I'm going to go to the Blues, the tickets might be cheap, but very expensive.
Yeah, and it's the gouging of fans that's put everyone off. And this is why what the Savannah's like, let's put the fans first to begin with, and let's build up a base, and then show them a good time, because the rugby's good. The Super Rugby's great. It's never been better. But people aren't going because it's just a bit of a ball ache.
Yeah.
It's a ball ache to get, but a bit of a ball ache to get there. It's expensive when you get
there.
Fucking
ball ache watching the Crusaders just absolutely fucking punish my beloveds.
Yeah.
We're back.
Unfortunately. Yeah. That was always going to happen. They haven't played the Blues for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you meant the Highlanders?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. With the Blue, you need to get on the Highlanders
What's
bandwagon.
very confusing is, because if you're watching a lot of league, I was watching the Crusaders Highlanders, and I was freaking out because I was like, where's the tackle count?
You're watching too much league.
Yeah, and you go, what the fuck are they doing? This is crazy.
They're going to kick this thing or
what are they going to do?
Yeah.
And that's because often on the Sky coverage, the tackle count goes down on the... how often does the tackle count go down on Warriors coverage?
Oh.
And from when it's at home games in New Zealand. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny when you've been watching a lot of league and you go, this is crazy. They're behaving irresponsibly here.
Yeah, so your beloved Blues, they're back in action on Friday night. They're playing the Western Wounders. So surely you're going to clock that up as a victory at home at Eden Park.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you'd want to beat the Reds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which they didn't. So we've got that game at 7 o'clock on Radio Hodaki and iHeartradio, and then we've got the Chiefs versus the Canes, which will be a cracker.
Yeah, cracker.
Down in Wellington as well. So coverage brought to you by Max Raft, all that Super Rugby. Right, we're going to take another quick break, and we've got some yours pleasers. We didn't have any yesterday, but we've got a wee bank of them to get through. So back in a sec.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Radio, this is the We Talk Back function on your iHeartradio app, the little microphone. Bang that, send it through, and we'll play it out. First one, yours, please.
Can we please get an episode of the Agenda podcast live from the Hauraki Glory Hole toilets? Really keen to hear one from there. Hooroo.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to have to fill you in on here. The Hauraki residents, I used to live in Hauraki Corner, nothing to do with Radio Hauraki.
All right.
I lived in Hauraki Corner, and I'm part of the Hauraki Corner residents group there. And there's some toilets in the Countdown car park on Hauraki Corner. And so someone's absolute dismay, they went in there to use the toilets, and there was two gentlemen grunting from the cubicles as they faced the middle partition. And they discovered...
Hang on a minute. So where was the person?
In the toilet.
Yeah.
And in the cubicles, and there has been a hole's been drilled between the cinder blocks.
Wow.
And they proceeded to then take a photo of the two gentlemen, one on tippy toes.
Either side of the wall there,
Either side of the wall, yeah.
So hang on a minute.
Yeah. There's a lot, I know.
There's a lot
How
to
is that
unpack.
working?
I know, because...
Is it just touching
I think
tips?
I think it's a reaching through and a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the cinder block wall... I mean, look, it's ingenious. I mean...
Because the cinder block's quite...
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nothing...
Thick.
They're nothing but industrious. I'll give you that. Dudes who want to get wristed off. And this glory hole has caused a bit of a stir in the neighbourhood because there's two groups. There's people who are call the police. This is disgusting. Why do people do this? To other people tagging in at Matt Heath. You've been busted. Like, you're just people tagging in their mates, all their mates going, I knew you were going to get caught one day and all this. So there's two sides of people who think it's hilarious and people who are outraged.
How do you think it works? Do you ever meet the other guy?
No.
Or do you book in?
No.
You hook it up on some kind of app or something and you go, I'll be in that one and I'll be in that one.
Yeah, it's always faceless.
You go in first and then I'll arrive 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
And we'll do it, and then you leave first, and then I leave, and you never see each other.
Yeah, but I mean, because a hand's a hand, really, isn't it?
Well, those people are pretty casual.
One's in jandals.
One's in jandals.
The other one's in some, obviously, quite a bit of a short king because
it's not like a Tinder date where you have to make an effort because it doesn't matter what you wear.
No, and a hand's a hand.
Yeah,
you know, if they're good at their job, no pun intended, then what the best difference does it make?
In terms of the yours please though that we got, how do you think? And I'm not 100% sure what a live podcast is going to add to.
It's not
the Hauraki Corner glory hole.
They're not great toilets. That's why it's probably chosen for this because not a lot of people. It's a cinder block toilet in a car park of a countdown. It backs onto a power like a power station kind of area. With the transformers and stuff.
So would we all be in one cubicle
and we wait?
So Or would we organise with the other person and say, because we tried to do this, remember we jumped on Grindr as a 9-man commentary team in Dunedin and tried to have some hookups. And there was so few people that were willing to take on a 9-man commentary team.
Yeah, they were very concerned about who they were talking to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if there's 9 of you, but which one am I talking to? And then I go, 1 second to the left, and then dick pic immediately. And I was like, okay, that didn't take much.
So to run an agenda podcast, there's 4 of us.
Yep.
There's 3 on the mics and
some equipment.
I'm happy to huck a cable through the hole.
Yeah. But are we participating in this or are we observing?
Oh, right. So what you're saying, Mash, is that one of us will be on the other side.
Yeah.
So that's what I imagined. Yeah.
Oh, right. Because I was thinking that we'd take one cubicle and we'd help a dude out that turned up.
We can also do that. That might be a better idea.
I wasn't even thinking we'd be in there. I'm thinking it's like a stakeout. So we just live from outside the toilets.
We can hire a van.
We're just live from outside the toilets, so just commentating people as they're coming in and out. That'd be safer.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
what are the moral implications for setting up CCTV footage in toilets to then commentate on it?
Yeah, quite large, I think.
I don't know. I think people would be okay with it.
Okay, we're going to have to brainstorm that one.
Okay, well, yeah. So no, I've had no further updates, but I will try and give you an update maybe by the end of the week on the developments of the Hauraki Corner glory hole. It's it's a lot of effort. That's a hammer drill.
Yeah. So do you
Someone's
think that they brought in a piece of like a power tool?
Yes. You'd have to have a power tool.
You couldn't just chip away at it like Andy Dufresne.
You don't think months. It was some kind of Rita Hayworth poster was hanging over the front of it?
That's a committed cottager. There is so much. If you're Andy Dufresne all the way through, which is a good, I'd say, 20 centimetre thick cinder block wall to get you.
Once the sun goes down.
Was there a picture of Rita Hayworth on the on one side of the wall for about 6 months.
See, these are the toilets. They're not salubrious.
Yeah,
They're
but
not-
I think that's part of it, right? Then, I don't think a lot of that kind of is that cottaging. That's cottaging, isn't it? Not dogging. I think part of it is not to be at a beautiful, pristine.
Not the Superloo and Topor.
No bathroom, is it? It's part of it is that you are in a sort of
Grungy,
grungy, disgusting, industrial kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but no, it is industrious, isn't it? Because you go, look, boy, these bathrooms are good, but what would be great if it had a glory hole? It's a cinder block that makes it harder
Yeah.
than if it was just plywood.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop us.
Certainly not. They said they've tried to block it up, but it keeps on coming out. They've tried to block it up, but I think they've tried to block it up by just drilling bits of wood on either side. And these are people with power equipment, and that's not going to stop them.
Would it kill them to sort of, I don't know, clean up the hole? It's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit grubby.
It's a bit grubby. I know that they like it to be grubby where they're doing it, but could you just, I don't know, I feel like there's a risk of cuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a high risk.
Yeah, the whole thing's high risk.
High risk occupation. Okay, we got another one. Okay,
Do you know what I'd do if I was doing it? I'd make the hole higher so you could stand on the toilet. So, because the thing that gives everyone away is the feet facing towards each other.
But then your
there's
head's
an
over,
idea.
Then you've got a risk of I go.
Oh, yeah.
So I go to the urinal and I look around and your head. What are you doing, Matt? And you're like, no, nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a very good point.
I
Actually,
suppose you could. That'd be good for the BJ, I guess, because it'll be at that standing height for the other guy.
What
potentially.
about if you print out a picture of some like shoes that are sitting like they would be if you were on the toilet,
Oh,
and
you
you
just
place
place it to the
them
front.
in front of your feet?
Yeah.
These are all fantastic ideas.
Or but
Because that's what gives you away. Is you got the pair of jandals facing the other pair of quite shitty shoes the other person's
Yeah.
wearing.
yeah,
They're not your Ponsonby kind of fancy pants.
Nah, this
No
is
fucking Birks in there, mate.
No, this is blue. This is like blue collar.
This is blue collar, yeah.
Yeah.
This is working class.
Yeah,
this is good.
This is working class.
This is real deal.
Glory hole.
This is soul of the earth,
Yeah.
grassroots.
You could do what they do in the toilets here at work, because a toilet here at work is renowned. The hookup toilet here,
The Les Mills gym bag.
yeah, is put the gym bags across the front,
Yeah.
so you can't see how many feet are in there.
Yeah, no, I get that. But whenever I see those gym bags across the front, that always raises my suspicions,
Yeah.
especially when it's accompanied by some kind of grunting and clear sexual activity.
Next one, yours, please.
Okay, next one.
Everybody's favourite award-winning sports adjacent podcast. Spend a third of the podcast talking about gyms and fucking hair blocking toilets and glory holes. Anyway, keep up the good work. Love you, fuckers.
Love yous, fuck yous. Look, I'll give you 1 out of 10 for that. The quality of that, yours, please, in terms of just audio.
Was that live from the Hodaki Corner?
It sounded
Public
like it. It
toilet.
sounded like it. Yeah.
What did he say there?
I
can't
think
quite.
he said award-winning sports adjacent podcast,
Yeah.
and the first half of it was talking about glory holes and etc. But
right.
the key was in what he said there, sports adjacent.
Yeah.
Because what's not saying that glory holes aren't a sport? What defines a sport for you?
Well, run it is a sport.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You just run at someone.
I think if you're any sort of exertion is a sport.
Well, so it could be time trials through the glory hole.
Yeah. Well,
Could
I mean,
be.
it's an exertion.
So
It's a skill. It
so
takes
who
a skill.
who is the winner? So if you get a quicker time, does the award go to the hand? If you know what I'm
I
saying,
think everyone's a winner.
everyone's,
I think-
everyone's clearly a winner.
Oh, you
but
think-
if you're turning it into a sport, right?
If you turn it into a sport, it's going to have to be judged. It's going to have to be like diving.
Yeah.
Because you got technique and you've got. I mean, the person you don't know, the person on the other side of the wall might have a hair trigger, and the fact that
But
you
that's
just
how
might reach
this-
through and boom, done. Takes no
So
skill.
so it's behoven on the person that's being pleasured to hold on as long as they can,
yes,
and so that's how it works. So it's.
but what if that person is?
So you're going back and forth, so the shortest time loses.
Yeah, but then again, if you've got, you can cheat the system, can't you? Because you can come in potentially having got rid of one an hour earlier, and we all know
Yeah.
that you can last. You know what I mean? You can come in pre-prepared. So
Yeah,
that's
like
what
by the time you get to post-season, then
yeah, exactly.
know-
It's taken hours.
Maybe there's some kind of 24-hour lockdown beforehand.
beforehand.
I think it's an honesty system,
Yeah.
and either side of the wall has a score sheet, and they just say at 3:33 on the 30th of April, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just an honesty system on either side there, and you can come back later and go, oh yeah, I was here at 9. Oh, 9. Okay, that's good. And you can go the other side and go, 8. Okay, I won.
Do
that one.
we need to form a governing body?
Yes, I think so. I think it's the Glory Hole League, the GHL.
Next one, yours, please.
Purpose-built bathroom.
Fucking oath, G Lane. Get your ass into that run it straight comp. Fuck, I would pay to see that. And then has anyone seen the size of George Burgess since he stopped fucking playing? That cunt has blown out.
Yeah, he's participating, isn't
You
he?
can run it into him. Get him over, run it straight at him. You get a fucking knighthood coming your way.
That's the thing with the run it is there is no, like, it's just got to be the props, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
There's not.
Damien McKenzie's not lining up.
No.
Yeah, 'cause-
Tuapicki's not going to be his thing when he retires.
No, because you've got George Burgess. He went up against Nindolo. That's a couple of fucking massive humans. Like, I mean,
The world
But what
might
about
end if they
Tamati?
come together.
Say if you bring, because rugby, if you bought say Tamati Williamson, can he get up pace though? Is it pace or is it?
I don't know what it is. It must be some sort of technique as well.
Is there a bit of sumo wrestling in it as well?
Yeah, potentially.
I tell you who'd be good at it. It'd be your offensive line from NFL.
Yeah, you need some forward momentum into the line though, eh?
Yeah, because you got about a 10-meter run up.
Or do you need a run up? Could the defensive guy, like you're saying, the defensive lineman,
Drop the shoulder.
could he just stand there, anchor, and
Yeah.
just boom?
Yeah, that might be a technique. Do you
Yeah.
have to run? And how do you time it so you hit the line at the same time?
This is so many questions. We're gonna have to.
Actually, we need to look at it. Is the defensive person maybe that's the difference? Is the person with the ball running it and the other person's not?
Maybe we
Because-
need to get someone.
Because maybe the defensive person just actually stands on the line,
Yeah,
or sort of does it, or sort of
think-
moves in.
I think you both have to run it straight. I think that's
So then you're going to hit at different spots. So
That's
you'd want to get down there quicker so someone doesn't have 15 meters run up as opposed to 10. And can you pass the line so you stop?
There's so many questions.
Yeah.
There's so many questions. But I look to that caller. I would rather get a knighthood not in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go up against George Burgess. Anyone bigger than 80 kgs who plays professional sport would kill me. But Stephen McIver, on the other hand, I would absolutely steamroll him.
Last one.
That's not a manly thing to say.
Last one, yours, please.
Hey, lads. Hey, just listening to the agenda. Looking forward to yours, please. And, of course, you got young Finn Caddie censoring them. Censorship at its worst by the North Canterbury man. Can't handle it. Too weak. Anyway, love you. Fuck yeah.
Did you censor it? You don't play all of them.
He did. He didn't play one because he had a hot take, Finn, on Anzac Day. Mashy said that he finds that you will remember them was just, and it's such a millennial thing to say.
He's less than millennial, isn't he? What are you, Gen?
I'm a Gen Z. Yeah.
Gen Z.
No, I just found that too passé.
Yeah, he thinks that you will remember them. As
And my take on that was,
You fucking-
no shit, I will, because that was my
You will
that
fucking
was my
remember
granddad. You don't need to stress too much about it. I always just find as the years go by that you will remember
Did you
them.
find some of those people that died in the war find it triggering and it says, "Thou shalt not grow old"? They're like,
wow.
"Oh, I'm going to grow old."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Mate, sorry, you actually passed away. It's tragic."
Yeah.
And as we discussed at the time, that was an episode that I was feeling a little bit tired on. I
Yeah.
had a lack
He
of
was
sleep.
He was hungover. He was partying.
We'd had a
with
big
the Auckland FC.
weekend.
I watched a lot of those deliveries across the weekend, and I started judging people that didn't know the poem off by heart. "Thou shalt not grow old."
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't want to
and they
mess.
said because some people
but you-
were reading it off a card.
But you don't want to mess.
There was a
it up.
woman that was reading it off the card in Australia. It was like, just take 5 minutes to bloody learn it.
You
Like,
don't want to mess it up, though, do you? You don't want to mess it up. Because imagine if you forgot it and then you'd have to pull it out of your pocket. You went,
a lot of pressure on a buglist.
Yeah.
I also judge people that come in with a trumpet with the buttons.
Yes.
Because that's easier than a buglist. A buglist has to. That is hard to
That is hard,
buglise
especially
it.
the last.
That's just piercing your lips.
the last note with the.
Yeah.
And that goes. It's really hard to hit.
It's very impressive.
Really hard to hit. And
The guy at Mount Smart nailed it at the Auckland FC game.
he had the music in front of him.
Did he?
Yes, he had a little clip with the music in front of him. Because I was thinking, that's interesting. I've never seen that before.
Neither. I couldn't see that from where I was.
Yeah, there we go. So we'll probably get some more hate after those.
No, but in full transparency, I wasn't super familiar with the feedback that came in just when I got into work yesterday. Joe Jerry did say, "Mate, don't listen to the talkbacks today. Not good. It's not good for you.
Keep them coming.
Not good for you."
Keep
So
them coming on the
he
talkbacks.
was nice enough to not load any in yesterday. Maybe at some point I can
And
go
he's
back and
deleted
have a
them.
listen. Yeah,
Has
hopefully
he
they'll be
deleted them, has he? Well, you're a sensitive wee soul.
Yeah, I needed that to be
so
fair.
see
He's
if-
looking after me.
So your challenge is to see who can insult Meshy the most.
yeah.
And then yours, please. You've got a couple more days for the rest of the week. We'll put a cap on it. Maybe we'll put a lid on it at the end of the week.
That's right.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Everyone's got a couple of days.
It's thou shall grow not old.
I'll shut
So-
not grow no old.
You piece of shit, man.
I'm a piece of shit. It's
Yeah.
thou shall grow not old, and I'm a piece of shit after hassling other people for not being able to remember it,
Yes.
and I couldn't even get the first line right.
have some
They're both
respect.
disgusting.
I'm a piece of shit.
You're such a piece of shit. Anyway,
God, you're a piece of
thanks for coming in, Matt.
great to be here.
Go fire the ZB
I will.
boomers up at midday till 4.
I will.
0800
Tune in.
80 1080.
0800 80 10 80 9292 is the text number.
Yeah, and I know you really
Tori
value.
Fano, what do you think?
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.